Today, we're diving into the single biggest mistake that many small businesses make. They forget to explain what they actually do. We're often so absorbed in our own business that we forget that other people aren't as interested or obsessed with our business as we are. In fact, most people will barely register your existence as a business until you tell them. It may sound obvious, but if your potential clients and customers don't know that you exist and don't understand what you do, they won't know how you can help them. So, let's get started by learning how to effectively communicate what you do to attract more clients and customers. Imagine you're a personal trainer, for example. If you just tell people, "I'm a personal trainer," that's just information. There's no emotional attachment to it. But if you know that they're struggling with being out of breath from just walking upstairs, and that they're scared of going to the gym, well, then you can tell them that you specialize in people who aren't comfortable in gyms, but still want to get fit for life. Doesn't that sound better? If you're a web designer, rather than saying that you build websites, emphasize the problem that you fix. Maybe you specialize in websites for special effects companies that want to show off a truly impressive visual experience. Or maybe you're the expert at making e-commerce sites that maximize sales through upselling. You get the idea. The more specific you are, and the more you tell people what problems you fix, the more likely they are to remember you and use your business. This is even more true when you target the specific problems of your target market. When you know their pain points and keep telling them how you can help them to solve those issues, they are far more likely to turn to you eventually. But wait, don't stop there. Once is not enough when it comes to communicating what you do. Research suggests that it takes an average of 7 times for a message to truly resonate with someone. And that's just for them to remember the name. So, reinforce your message consistently across different touchpoints to ensure it sticks. Repetition makes it stick. For example, let's say someone needs a website done. You want them to think, "Oh, I know a web designer who can help me with that." So, keep telling them what you do and how you can help, and do it again and again. That might be through advertising, social media, word of mouth, or networking. The aim is to keep reminding people that your business exists and that you are the company to solve their very specific problems. Now, let's talk about social media and marketing. Social media marketing can take up a lot of time, but it's also a great way to reach your target audience and educate them about your services. The key is to be consistent and educational. Your posts don't have to be groundbreaking, but they do need to consistently reinforce your message. And remember, you can repeat things. Not every post needs to be a new idea. You can share the same message in different ways to make sure your audience gets the message loud and clear. It can feel like a waste of time making social media posts because it's difficult to track the return on investment. With practice, you can learn how to make posts quickly and efficiently. Every post doesn't have to be an all-singing, all-dancing advert. It just needs to be a reminder that you exist and demonstrate your expertise. When explaining what you do, simplicity is key. Firstly, don't tell people you do everything. It can be very tempting, especially for small businesses, to promise that they can fix all problems. We make the mistake of thinking that we'll be turning potential customers away by specializing, and that we can attract more customers by increasing our scope. But it works the other way around. People will always pick a specialist company over a generalist company to fix a specific problem. The more things you tell people you do, the less they will remember. So focus on the core problem you solve and hammer that home. The principle also applies to how you tell people what you do. It might be tempting to try to make it sound clever. You might include complicated language, concepts, and systems to show them that you're the expert and that they can't possibly do this on their own. But all that does is confuse them. When people don't understand what you do, they won't hire you. The simpler you keep it, the better. Remember that they aren't looking for someone who does XYZ, they're looking for someone who solves their problem. So use the same language that they use. That's how a potential customer will know it's a match. That brings us on to the use of jargon and technical language. While jargon may be useful within your industry, it can be a barrier to effective communication with clients. Unless your target market is highly specific and technical, it's best to avoid using jargon. Instead, use simple language that your clients can understand. And if you do need to use jargon, take the time to explain it in simple terms. This will help your clients understand what you do and how you can help them. Your aim as a business owner is to be seen as an expert in your field. But the wider the field, the harder it will be to stand out. So, ask yourself, what are you the expert in? Where can you know more than most other people? Find your niche and demonstrate that expertise where others aren't doing it. The smaller the niche, the easier it will be to look like a specialist expert. And the more you look like the go-to company, the more clients or customers you'll get. You can demonstrate this expertise through articles, videos, interviews, or even speaking engagements. Show the world that you're the go-to person when it comes to solving a specific problem. Remember, clients can only pick one company, and you want to be that company. Sometimes your services may involve complex ideas or processes. To effectively communicate these concepts, break them down into digestible pieces. Use analogies, metaphors, or visual aids to simplify complex ideas and make them more relatable. One trick is to imagine that you had to explain it to a 10-year-old child. What language would you use then? What would you leave out as unnecessary detail? Storytelling can also be a powerful tool to engage your clients and help them understand complex concepts. People can relate to a story far more easily than a large block of explanatory text. In fact, people get hooked into stories and want to hear what happens next. It's a great way to engage potential customers and clients. So, get creative and find ways to simplify and engage your clients when explaining those more challenging aspects of your business. And remember, these topics make great social media posts too. That's it for today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful in effectively communicating what you do. If you know someone who might find this useful or interesting, please forward it on to them. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more business coaching content.